month for both of
Yeah.
us. We decided to do things slightly differently,
Yes, we did.
but staying true to our promise of bringing you female and male aspects, or our interests, however you want to put it. So, welcome to the month of recommendations.
Yeah. So we're each going to go through something that we're very passionate about. We're going to give you recommendations of each thing. So I'll be covering my favorite books, my favorite movies, and my favorite comic books.
And then I'm going to be doing my, not necessarily favorites, but, well, sort of favorites, but like a fashion aspect, my favorite designers, my favorite stores, but also how to smart shop, how to get freebies, how to save money and still be fashionable. And then I'm going to be doing my favorite perfumes. And then we're going to sort of collaborate in one video. Half of one video will be about comics.
Yep.
And then the other half is going to be my absolute favorite makeup, because I test a lot of things. So these are the ones that like I will always go back to. I will always keep buying until I absolutely find something better. That is the one.
Yes.
So that's what this month is going to bring. So the what's coming right after this little intro, the first video, is going to be Michael talking about his favorite books.
Yes. So
Enjoy!
here's Mike.
Yay.
Alright. Hey guys, so I'm going to do my recommendations. This episode will be about my favorite books. And this was a very, very hard one for me to do because I have a giant bookshelf downstairs in my basement that, has all my books that I've ever owned in my life, and I love each and every one of them, like my child. But I narrowed it down to 3, which was very difficult to do. So yeah, I guess we'll just get started because I could sit here and talk about this for a while. But the first book I'm choosing is The Brick, known as Les Miserables. Some of you may know it as a Broadway show, or now a movie, I suppose. But it started off as a book written by Victor Hugo back in the, I want to say it was like the 18th century. I feel like it was in the 1700s. So it was in the 18th century. This book is the most inspirational piece of trash you can read in your life. The thing about the book is it's very slow moving, as per most 18th century literature is. But what's very special about it is the parts of revolution in it, because the whole premise of the book, it's set it's not the French Revolution, it's the aftermath of the French Revolution and the smaller known revolution known as the August Revolution, where students would riot and fight for unfair rights. So the book basically is set around that. It's set around a main character named Jean Valjean, who is a outlaw on the run because he stole a loaf of bread. So it's about, the first part's about him, and then the second part's actually about the students and about the revolution they go through. The description that goes into the characters of this book is insane. The characterization is so human and so just outright real that it's just ridiculous. The scenes of revolution when the battle is taking place is inspiring, it is well written, and it just makes you feel. It makes you feel more than any other piece of literature I think I've ever read. So, as a book, as a story, it is very long and very hard to get through, but as a whole, it is amazing, it is inspirational, it is perfect. So, Les Miserables by Victor Hugo, one of my favorite books of all time. A beautiful cover that I found actually in the New York Library, a beautiful version of it. It's leather bound, if you can't tell, and it's gorgeous. Moving on, my next book would be House of Leaves House of Leaves by Mark D. I'm going to try to pronounce this, but I don't know if I'll get this right. Danielski, I'm going to go with. House of Leaves is it's a very postmodern book in the sense that it doesn't make sense. A lot of it doesn't make sense, but that's why it's so amazing to me. It starts off as a regular story with like regular text, like regular novel would. But as you keep going, it's written from a persona of a guy who's kind of losing his mind, which is amazing. Because as you keep going, I'm gonna come closer here, see if I can figure this out. See how I can do this. As you keep going, the pages start to focus. Anyway, the pages start to get a little more non-conventional, and the story is told through the footnotes, and it's told through the long sequence of pictures and poems, and then at the very end there's kind of like long pages of numbers that translate into letters and into words. So it's just one of those books that every literature lover has to look at least one point in their life because it's so special and it's so well written and it's just such a good idea. The author is actually writing a new book right now, which I can't wait for. It's due to come out in 2015, late 2015, I believe, and I will be all over that when it comes out if it's anything like this, because this was just kind of like a cult phenomenon that kind of took the world by storm. So yeah, that's House of Leaves. And last but not least, one of my favorite writers of all time. Am I good on time?
Yes.
Okay.
You want to start that sentence over now?
Yeah, I'm going to. I'm going to. Just
No,
make sure
you're still good. You've got 5.5 minutes.
And last but not least, one of my favorite writers of all time, H.P. Lovecraft. This is the Necronomicon, which is kind of like his compilation of best, his classic works and his best of works. Not to be confused with the Satanic Necronomicon, which, everybody will associate this with. But no, Lovecraft was kind of the father of traditional horror story, along with like Edgar Allan Poe. He wrote kind of like psychological thrillers as his trade, and he moved on to create like this whole mythos that is being totally blown out of proportions. Like there's actually cults revolving around H.P. Lovecraft's work now that like sacrifice and stuff, and that's really terrifying and weird. But it's cool that it came from such good literature. One of the more modern day things to come from Lovecraft is Stephen King. Stephen King was a huge fan of Lovecraft, loved what he did, and actually it's funny because on the back of my edition of the Necronomicon there is a quote from Stephen King that says, "Lovecraft opened the way for me as he had done for others before me." So Lovecraft would be the precursor to Stephen King, to Dean Koontz, to many of like Alfred Hitchcock, people like them. They were big fans of Lovecraft, and this book is just all his short stories, a few poems I think in here too, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful edition, beautiful binding, beautiful cover. So if you have the chance to pick that up, you totally should. So thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what your favorite book is, and check these books out that I mentioned because they're all absolutely amazing. Any literary lover should take a look at those books at some point in their life. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Links are in the description. So yeah, thanks for watching. Have a good day, and we'll see you next time.